We brought up a subject the other day of great interest to us here in Denver because Tim Tebow did spend some time playing quarterback here, or I should say
won a
trying to play
playoff game
quarterback
and
here.
had one of the greatest half seasons in NFL history.
Well, Timmy might be attempting a comeback. He's working with ESPN right now, but he still wants to play, evidently, and he's been throwing the ball. And a gentleman who's been helping him with his mechanics is on the phone with us right now. Former Major League Baseball pitcher Tom House, former pitching coach of the Texas Rangers, as well as some other teams, and has kind of had a little cottage industry going for himself, working with NFL quarterbacks, guys like Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Alex Smith and Andy Dalton. And now we're told he's working with Tim Tebow, trying to get Tim ready for a veterans combine, where some guys who have been in the league want to show their wares to NFL teams and try to get back into the league. That's coming up March 22nd. Tom House joins us right now. Tom, thank you for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. You guys have done your homework, haven't you?
We have. I mean, that's what we do,
well,
Tom.
and Les didn't even, this is Woody, Tom, Les didn't even bring up you had a brilliant baseball career, but people talk about Willie Mays' catch in 1954 in the World Series. Tom House made the greatest catch in baseball history.
I tell you what, if you remember that, you're an old goat just like me, Woody.
Yeah, I'm
I
68.
remember it, too.
I distinctly remember that because I had the greatest love in the world for Hank Aaron, and I think everybody and whoever followed baseball did. But
well, tell everybody, when Hank Aaron hit his record-setting home run, Tom House was in the bullpen in left field and caught the ball.
And from
you're exactly right.
And then,
exactly right.
Tom, if I remember correctly, you sold it for a couple $1 million, right?
No, I'll tell you what, I wish. I ran it right back in and gave it to him. But every time I walk by my wife, she thumps me in the head because I didn't sell it. But oh well.
Yeah.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah. What is amazing about that night was Tom House catching the ball and those two idiots that got on the field who every time they show Hank rounding the bases, you see those two idiots that are now as old as Tom and I are, and they're still making hay off of that because they get interviewed all the time. Tom, let's get into it. I have talked to Zeke Browkowski, who worked with Tim Tebow. I was a Tim Tebow fan. I had great belief, and I hate to use that word, but I had great belief and faith in Tim Tebow and his mechanics. Josh McDaniels thought he corrected his mechanics. Zeke Browkowski thought he corrected his mechanics. Others have tried and failed. What do you think you've done with Tim that maybe has improved him and his mechanics?
But Woody, you're dead on. All those people actually helped Tim with his mechanics. But what happens if you haven't got enough repetition with the precise movement that the NFL requires? Then you revert back. As soon as you get into competition, you go back to your original wiring, your neuroplasticity. So everybody that worked with Tim actually helped him in the short term, but he didn't have a chance to put in enough repetition to actually, facilitate a change. I think this time he has. The numbers are there. He's probably had 10,000 reps. He's been working out with us on a regular basis for a couple of years, probably very similar, the same information that he got from other, quarterback coaches out there. But now he's actually had the time to put in the repetitions so that the nervous system actually knows what to do in stress and anxiety of competition.
Tom, to be perfectly blunt, I was not a Tim Tebow fan. And I didn't feel he would have a long career in the NFL because of a number of things, not just mechanics, but I thought the mental approach to the game wasn't there either, and I don't think he performed well under stress. So convince me that he should be on an NFL roster right now, and he can not only handle things from a mechanical standpoint, but also just from a visual standpoint, reacting to what he sees on the field.
All right, here's, again, he came to us because he was inaccurate and couldn't really spin the ball. That was easy to fix. The other things that you're talking about, his ability to read, make decisions, that's outside my pay grade, so to speak. But I do know this, that when you know that your legs work better than your arm, that's what you're going to do when things are getting crazy in competition in the NFL. So I honestly believe that Tim's first go-around in the NFL, if first read or second read weren't there, he took off and trusted what had carried him through college and initially his first go-around in the NFL, and that was running the ball. Well, I believe now that with film work, with the work he's put in, repetitions on top of repetitions, that not only can he spin the ball and throw the ball more accurately, probably, and again, someone's going to have to give him a chance to see. I think all of the above are fixed.
Three-part question for me, Tom. Woody again. Number one, he told me that he really enjoyed baseball more as a kid, and I had the feeling in watching him, and he said he could throw, 80, 90 miles an hour, and he made the choice to go to football. That his mechanics problems, to me, and I'm just an observer, were based on his baseball background, because he seemed to have the same motion with a football and tried to rear back and throw it like he would a baseball. Would that be fair assessment? I mean, did you see any of that his baseball background kind of seeped into what he was doing with his mechanics in football?
Yes, you guys are on the top of your game. Timing, if you get right down to it, throwing is timing, kinematic sequencing, and then the mechanics of the actual action. And the timing for a quarterback, they've got to be into foot strike and let the ball go in right around 5 seconds, or 0.5 seconds. For a pitcher, he's got 1 second into foot strike and 0.25 to release point. So a quarterback has 1/3 the time to step and throw that a pitcher does. And that was, the timing issue that he went through, again, is just repetitions and understanding that throwing a 15-ounce football, your timing has to be 1/3 quicker than throwing a 5-ounce baseball because of the weight of the implement. It's all laws of physics. But from just, looking from the outside, Woody, you're dead on. He was a little slow into foot strike, and that caused him to be a little long with his throwing arm, and that was one of the criticisms. I'll tell you right now that he's got his timing and his sequencing. He's throwing the ball very well for what our measurables tell us.
This segment of the Sports Show with Woody and Les brought to you by Citywide Banks, where the Sports Show does its banking. Tom, is Tim intent on showing up to that combine, that veteran combine on March 22nd? Are we going to see him out on the field?
You know more than I do. I know that it's happening. I'm pretty sure this is his weekend for his golf tournament. He was just working out here earlier in the week, so I know he's doing his golf tournament. We did not talk about him throwing next week, whatever day it is, but I'll guarantee you it's probably if he's not committed to it, I'll guarantee it's been put in front of him, and maybe he'll show up and thrill somebody.
Tom, appreciated your career when you're a young man. We have a photo of you on our big screen TV. You're looking good right now. I just say that. You've got one of the best mustaches I've seen in a long time. So,
well, I'll tell you what, that was the 60s, and we were all trying to look good, but you know what the proverbial, you can't make chicken salad out of bling bit of bling? That mustache.
that would be chicken shit,
Yeah.
I think.
We can say that on this show, Tom.
Yeah, you said it, not me, but that's the right idea, Woody.
Yeah. Tom, we really appreciate your time, and we're divided here. There's one of us here that would like to see him be able to get another chance in the NFL, or go to the Canadian Football League for that matter, or another league that develops, which has been talked about. And then there's one of us here that is crazy. So,
and that's fine. Be as crazy as like he does deserve another chance, just to put to rest in his mind and everybody else's mind that he can or can't play. So I agree, he should play.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, guys, have a great afternoon.
All right.